We all good?
I think we're good.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, as long as you're good with me eating, because I'm fucking hungry.
Yeah, go for it. Hello and welcome to Longbox Legends. I'm Preston.
I'm Nick. I'm Chris. And I'm Drew.
Yes, today is a very special episode because it's Drew's very first episode here on the show. We've been wanting to do a special book with him, and I think we did it. Today we'll be covering Three Jokers, written by Jeff Johns, drawn by Jason Fabic, with colors by Brad Anderson. Now, before we get into this, we need to talk some history about this book.
Yes, please.
Yes, because there's some history about, like, the book, me, and Drew. So let's start off with, like, where did Three Jokers came from? So Jeff Johns was writer of Justice League during the New 52 era, and he did this one story called The Darkseid War. In that issue, in that storyline, Batman gets on the Mobius chair. Batman knows everything in the universe, even more so than he already does. Chris, if you have something to say, just say it. This isn't a classroom.
Is it Morbin time?
No. This is the Morbius. God. It's the Morbius chair. Not awesome. What a rollicking good start to our first Drew-centric episode.
I didn't know there's a Morbius in DC.
No.
That's something you should preface.
Yes, we're talking about the Batman and Joker. You think would clearly talk about DC.
The Morbius chair is different from Morbius the fucking man-bat-sad Leto.
Yeah,
the one he sits in.
One is an inhuman machine, and the other one is a chair, okay? So, the Morbius chair knows everything in the universe. Batman sat down on it, and Batman wanted to, like, test it out. So he's like, oh, who killed my parents? And the chair just tells him, Joe, chill. That's right, he did kill my parents. Okay, hey, for funsies, what's the Joker's real name? And the chair just goes beep, and you just see Batman like, oh my god, no, that's impossible. And then other stuff happens, because it's in the middle of a story. At the end of the story, Green Lantern asks Batman, what did the chair tell you? When you ask him what the Joker's real name is. And Batman tells him, oh, he said that there's three Jokers. The chair said that there's three Jokers. What? Three Jokers? What does that mean? And that's all we got. And this is like 2015, I believe, because I remember Drew messaged me, Preston, what's the Three Jokers? And I told him, I don't know. I'll tell you when they get around to it.
It's been a long episode coming. Is that long ago? Because I remember it's this episode. I literally, as soon as Longbox Legends started, I was like, Preston, when are you going to talk about the Three Jokers? Because that shit, I am so confused.
Yeah, and guess what I said? Guess what? We just started Longbox Legends. There's still no Three Jokers answer. The only thing... the first episode we did, actually, of DC Rebirth, which was written by Jeff Johns, had like a little tease of the Three Jokers. And then after that, nothing, because no other writer besides Jeff Johns cared about Three Jokers. So
how would you not care about Three Jokers?
Because no one knows. What does that mean? What does that mean, Three Jokers?
Dude, and you're telling me Batman's the greatest detective ever, and he didn't know there were three Jokers, his greatest villain?
You're telling me this whole time he didn't know that there were three different men this entire time?
Yeah, they look kind of different. He's like, Joker, you really are just a shifty dude.
Like, there were some fan theories going around, like, are they Jokers from different dimensions? Is it the Watchmen characters? Like, people thought maybe one of the Jokers is the comedian because they're pushing Watchmen right now. And Jeff Johns like, no, it's none of that. Trust me, it's all, in the same world. And we wouldn't get this answer until, like, 2019... couple years ago, so like 5-6 years later, here we are with Three Jokers. And the other thing to know about this book is its continuity, because the Justice League story takes place in continuity. People are debating if this takes place in continuity or out of continuity, because this is published under the DC Black Label imprint, which usually means it's out of continuity. But there are some things, people have different opinions. I'll share my opinions at the end.
For the viewers at home, this episode is not sponsored. I'm just very hungry.
This is the Three Jokers.
Before we get into this, I swear to God, if one of these is just a cholo named Joker, I'm going to be pissed.
One's just gonna be Ronald McDonald. That's it.
Yeah, that seems likely.
And the other one's gonna be Jack in the Box.
Exactly. It's gonna be Joker, Jack, and Ronald.
It's just a big fast food promotion.
Featuring Harley Quinn, Wendy's, and Jollibee for some unknown reason.
See, actually, there actually is no Harley Quinn in this book. This is only going to focus on Joker, Batman, Batgirl, and the Red Hood. Only people who've been affected by Joker directly, basically.
One of the Jokers is just dressed up like Harley.
I don't think they actually mentioned...
Just filling the role.
Alright, so... the book begins with Batman in the Batmobile. He's clearly super duper injured because he crashes into the grave site of his parents. And we're in the Batcave. Alfred's stitching him up.
Sure, he's not just drunk? Like, just on a bender and he's like, oh, fuck.
Shit. Whiskey.
Do you know how drunk you have? Like, he might be drunk because how are you going to explain... Batman, why'd you drive all the way to stately Wayne Manor and crash into the grave sites of Bruce Wayne's parents? What's that about? Are you Bruce Wayne?
You made a drinking joke on Batman and you said whiskey instead of going for the obvious Bacardi?
Bacardi?
I said Bat whiskey.
You said
tried. Shut up.
Come on. You're the bartender here.
I'm drunk.
Cheers, I'll smoke to that.
Oh my god. Please, gentlemen, this is a kid show about Batman. Anyway, Alfred's stitching him up, and each panel has kind of like a corresponding wound and how he got it. So, like, he's got a bite mark from Killer Croc. He's got a stab mark from the Penguin. He's got, like, a Riddler question mark outline from when the Riddler, like, sizzled the Riddle stick on him or whatever.
Is this literally, like, the night after the Arkham Knight series? Like, what the fuck?
No, like...
Is this, like, has a lot happened prior to this particular chapter or arc?
Like, being Batman. Like, you see, like, the wound on his back where Bane broke his back. Like, these are wounds.
Oh, scars!
So it's like going over, like, all of the injuries throughout Batman's history.
Throughout his whole career, yeah. So you got, like...
I thought
he
was showing up to the Batcave, having just taken on Penguin, Bane,
No.
Riddler, and all at once just now.
No, Alfred even asks, like, what was it this time? He says it was an umbrella, and we see there's a little hole in his side from, like, an umbrella from the Penguin. So he just got back from a fight with the Penguin, somehow. That's made him this injured.
How does he never get shot, but then Penguin stabs him with an umbrella?
They have bulletproof armor and also special plating to protect me from knives. But I'm defenseless against umbrellas.
It's a really sharp umbrella.
It's a really sharp.
Oh, okay.
I just want to point.
It was a really big rock.
I just want to point. He's also got three.
And a really small bird.
He's also got 3 puncture holes from where Scarecrow stabbed him with a pitchfork. So if a pitchfork can work, anything's game. But the really cool thing about this little montage is that you've got, like, a shoulder wound from the Joker, a stab wound from the Joker, a burn wound from the Joker. Joker is responsible for, like, many of the scars on Batman's body.
What if he just had, like, labels, like little sticky note labels for each wound, and there's just, like, Joker, like, all over him, like, just most of them are just Joker?
This isn't Memento. Otherwise, I'm sure
this
Joker...
is Jared Leto.
Batsy, you do care.
God.
As he's being stitched up by Alfred, they overhear on the news that the last member of the Moxon crime family has been killed by the Joker, and there's been, like, another dead body at, like, the Ace Chemical plant. Meanwhile, we cut over to Barbara Gordon, who's currently, aka Batgirl. She's currently at the gym, just running as best she can on a treadmill, and she's also listening to the news. On the news, they're talking about this Hawaiian comedian who would do, like, a whole bit on Batman. Like, he'd wear, like, a Batman mask and do, like, stand-up on that. Anyway, the Joker live-streamed murdering this, like, comedian at the same time as the Moxon murder is going on.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Mm.
Batgirl
I see.
accidentally breaks the treadmill by just overdoing it because she's having flashbacks to the Killing Joke, where the Joker shot her in the spine. Yes, thank you, Drew. Where the Joker
Wait,
shot
so-
her in the spine. Yes, yes.
How
Drew.
did she recover then? So
Yeah, I was about to say,
hold on
how
a
did she
second.
recover from that?
Yeah. So the Killing Joke did happen.
Yes, it did.
She did become Oracle.
Yes.
But now she's back as Batgirl.
Yes.
What happened?
Because DC wanted Barbara Gordon to be Batgirl.
How
They
did
don't
they
explain how she can
So
walk.
they just explained away the paralysis with, we really love Batgirl.
Basically, like, in the New 52, which, again, I think this is supposed to take place in, she has, like, a chip in her spine, which allows her to walk.
Okay.
Look,
so
Batman knows
I
Cyborg.
can accept that. I just wish,
It was better.
better.
Yes.
The Killing Joke. Hold on. If
Have
it
you
takes
never-
place in the... Yeah, I know the Killing Joke, don't worry.
I was about to like, bro.
If... What? Okay, so
Yes.
New 52 was a reset of the universe, right?
Yes.
Technically?
Yes.
But she remembers the Killing Joke?
No, the New 52 is the things you like happened, the things you didn't like didn't happen. So people
I
like...
thought that was the thing after New 52.
No, that's also Rebirth, yes. We're just going to keep doing it until we get this right, people. So,
Jesus Christ.
so Killing Joke happened. She was in a wheelchair, but then she got better, but she still has...
she got better.
She got better.
Just
I was
slowly
paralyzed
getting
from the
her
waist down. I got
She
better
went
though.
from just having to use her hands and slowly using a toe to
Dude.
drag her chair across the floor.
Dude, Xavier should try getting better.
We're like 5... I mean, technically he did right now, but...
Right,
So she's in the shower, and it's like a neat little image. Like, she's in the shower, and she's touching her belly button, and below it is like the bullet hole where the Joker shot her, saying like, yes, Killing Joke did happen. Meanwhile, Jason Todd is in a graveyard, aka the Red Hood, is in a graveyard fighting Joker goons. And again, he's also listening to the news. A third Joker has committed a third murder at the same time as the murder of the comedian and the crime family. And all during this time, Red Hood's flashing back to when Joker beat him to death with a crowbar.
Batman's probably like, hey, you guys ever notice that, like, Joker, and Joker are never in the same room at the same time?
Well, that's the thing. Batman's investigating the three Jokers. He hasn't really told everybody, like, hey guys, I sat on a magical chair that told me there's three Jokers. In fact, he never brings up the chair. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if he learned who they were, why didn't he ask the chair, how are there three Jokers?
Well, he asked the chair, what's the Joker's real name? And it just said there's three of them. So, the chair didn't do its job to begin with.
It really didn't. It
Really
was like,
is the
there's
Morbius
three,
chair.
and he's... what's Joker's real name? There are three of them. That's not a name!
But,
That
okay,
is
but
his
which
name.
one? Which one?
I swear to
There
God, if
are-
this turns into the SpongeBob episode of What's It To Ya? No. It's not that there are three Joker. His name is
Three
There Are Three
Jokers.
Jokers.
Oh, man.
His first name is There Are, last name Three Jokers.
Oh, my God.
That's a Joker move if I ever heard one.
Scandinavian.
I was born...
It would be a Joker move. I'm gonna be...
Let's
They
see how you
couldn't do
guys
that.
feel
People would be
about this.
pissed.
So,
Alright.
they go to the Ace Chemical plant where they find someone has been thrown into the chemicals, and they're all Jokified. But he's, like, basically dead. This is not one of the three Jokers. They're being taken to the hospital, but one of the doctors is actually Red Hood, and he starts, like, grabbing this guy who's been Joker. You gotta tell me where the Joker is! He starts, like, to interrogate him and beat him up, and Batman and Bat are like, Jason, what the heck are you doing? He's a victim! And Jason Todd's like, no, he's not. He does heroin and beats his own kid, so it's cool for me to, like, beat up this guy who's been Jokified. So yes.
So is Red Hood essentially like
Mean Robin.
he took Batman's like training and just got tired of the no-kill rule? Is that basically it?
I mean, yeah, Jason Todd was the second Robin. He got beaten.
Right.
He was killed by the Joker. He died. He got better. He came back to life.
Like that's actually he actually got better. That is literally the thing.
So then he didn't die.
No, he died.
Just beaten an inch to death.
No, he was dead.
No, he was dead.
He was in a coffin.
He was beat to death with a crowbar. He's dead.
Technically, the crowbar hurt him, and then there was a bomb, so he was dead. The bomb's what killed him. The crowbar didn't help.
But then you have to realize he was put into the Lazarus pit because Ra's al Ghul felt sympathy for him.
Yes.
And then he came back to life.
There you go. Thank you, Mike. But
I didn't know that.
And
what is the Lazarus pit? I don't know what that is.
The Lazarus pit is where Ra's al Ghul gets all his powers and how he remains immortal. It's like this divine pool to like some other dimension, and that is the source of Ra's al Ghul's power.
And they didn't think to put that girl in there when she was paralyzed?
No. Well,
no, because
like, fuck you.
The difference being
a new hero now.
The difference being the situation is that he sympathized with Jason Todd because Jason Todd wasn't necessarily like still a Batman disciple. He was a broken man who was left behind, and so that's how he had the sympathy. With Batgirl was still Batgirl and still Batman's dude. Like, you know,
I thought at this point like Ra's al Ghul was out of the picture,
no,
so they were just using it whenever they felt like it.
He's like an aloof Mystique nowadays.
Yeah, and
like,
also
but he's too old to be doing shit, but like still strong enough to be like in charge of the League of Shadows.
We cut to this scene of like a truck full of Ace chemicals, because that's what was stolen. Someone stole all the chemicals from the Ace chemical plant. It's one of the Jokers. He goes to a cabin in the middle of the woods where he meets with another Joker. And now the Joker he meets with, this is going to help us differentiate them. The Joker he meets with is wearing the Hawaiian garb and the hat from Killing Joke. That's the comedian Joker. The Joker's driving the truck is the clown. So that's how we differentiate them. There's the comedian, there's the clown, and finally there's the criminal. And that's who they're meeting at this cabin. So the criminal is like Golden Age Joker. He's like a mob boss with a clown theme. The clown Joker, he's like Silver Age Joker, where he commits crimes like laughing fish and like pogo sticks. Like he's the that kind of Joker. And finally,
he's the 60s Joker.
Yes, he still kills people, but he's very clownish. And finally, you have comedian Joker, who's Killing Joke / modern day Joker.
Where he's just a really dark comedic villain.
Yes, he's like the Joker everybody knows. That's comedian Joker.
Wild. Okay, so then how do they explain the... So if I'm understanding this correctly, what you're saying is the three Jokers are just the Jokers from the different ages of Batman, and we thought it was the same Joker this whole time, when in reality, one has just basically been handing the torch off to the other and off to the other while they're still working together somehow?
I feel like they're just using that to differentiate, and we're going to see who they actually are.
Yes, we're using that to differentiate them.
That was just
because there is going to be kind of a question of like, who's the real Joker? Because the two Jokers meet up with criminal Joker, and he mentions, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to make a better Joker.
Trying to take over the world.
No, they're going to make a better Joker. So that's the big plan. They want to make another Joker who's better than all three of them. Through their detective skills, Batman, Batgirl, and Red Hood find out that the chemicals were taken to the aquarium. And inside the aquarium, they find like a bunch of, you guessed it, smiling fish and a smiling shark. Boom, the Joker is definitely here, and they replaced all the water with Ace chemicals to make them into Joker fish. And here's where we get the return of the classic Joker sidekick, Gagsworth A. Gagsworthy. Yes.
Whom? Really?
Who knows? I'm in the dark.
No.
Nick's in the dark.
Gagsworth
He was like...
Gagsworthy, aka Gaggy, is like a Vern Troyer looking clown guy who was Joker's sidekick in the 70s. He was the Harley Quinn before Harley Quinn, basically.
Oh,
he was
Look him up.
He was to Joker what Lucius Fox was to Batman.
Yes.
He was he's gaggy. He made the fucking gags for Joker.
That's his whole get. So
he was Joker's fucking tinkerer.
Hi, this is Preston from Longbox Legends from the future. During recording, we had a little technical snag and we lost the visuals. We still had audio somewhat, so sorry about that, but here's the rest of the episode, uninterrupted, just no video. So just do some chores and listen if you want. Gaggy. We're on the classic character of Gaggy, Nick. And even Red Hood is like, who's that? And Batman's like, that's Gaggy. I haven't seen him in years, commenting on the fact that no one's used Gaggy since like the 70s. Anyway, there's a big fight between Batman, Batgirl, Red Hood, Gaggy, and all these Joker goons. Red Hood shoots the glass to the shark tank, and the Joker shark eats Gaggy. So boom, Gaggy's gone. Oh no, Gaggy, we hardly knew thee.
That was short lived.
That's
hey,
mean.
You guys remember Gaggy? He's dead.
So,
and then there's Gaggy. He did. He's dead.
After Gaggy's death, though, a Joker shows up with Joker Fish, but everyone like takes him down relatively easy, and they like hold him down and they tie him up. They investigate, and it's the clown Joker. They could tell because he's worked with Gaggy, he's got the Joker Fish, razor sharp playing cards. He's the Silver Age Joker. Batman's gonna go try to find the other two Jokers, leaving Barbara Gordon and Jason Todd alone with this Joker. They have a kind of a discussion of like, is this the real is this the Joker or not? The clown says he is, and he even like brags to Jason like, I remember killing you, and I remember what you said to me. You were begging and crying, and even said like, please let me go, mister. I'll be your Robin if you let me go. And he kind of makes fun of the fact that Jason Todd is kind of the Joker's Robin because he's dressed like the Red Hood, which was Joker's first mask, and he's kind of a pain in Batman's side. And so Jason Todd pulls out a gun, Batgirl pulls out a batarang, they all kind of go off, and Jason Todd kills this Joker. So the clown is dead.
Dang.
So there's only two Jokers.
There's two Jokers.
That doesn't help. That doesn't help anything at all.
And Barbara goes off.
That's the point of Jason.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, yeah, and
Killing doesn't help.
She's like, we could have gotten stuff from him. Like, you killed him. And then he decides to be a jerk. Is like, oh yeah? Well, Barbara, when was the last time you've ever missed with a batarang? Like, you could have stopped me, but you didn't. Later.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, back at the cabin.
No, Jason's a dick.
He always is.
Let me pull out a gun and pull the trigger, but it's your fault that your batarang couldn't catch my bullet in time.
Look, I'm just saying.
I think what he's saying is like, you could have like bataranged the gun out of my hand.
Yes,
you know, like,
but the batarang missed.
Oh, the batarang missed.
The batarang missed. And he's saying like, when was the last time you ever missed with a batarang?
That's okay.
So like,
I can't. You know what? I don't know if Jason Todd's being a dick here. I think he's kind of being a little honest.
Why are you booing me? I'm making a good point.
Why are you booing me? I'm right.
So we cut back to the
who killed the Joker?
Society killed the Joker. So
it's like the Eric Andre show. He shoots the Joker. Who killed the Joker?
Who killed it? Yeah. So
why don't we have answers?
So we cut to the comedian Joker who drives home and he meets with his wife and his kid from the Killing Joke. And he's even eating.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, hold on.
Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Hold on.
Joker
Wait a minute.
Oh, little Joker Jr.
Yes.
I know he had I know in the Killing Joke we see him before he was the Joker and like, oh, he has a wife and she was pregnant, but they died.
Yes, they did. Because then what happens next is the criminal Joker walks in and is like, what are you doing? And it turns out he's having dinner with like a mannequin and a stuffed teddy bear. So this is like all in his imagination. Like, this is the life comedian Joker like wants or he goes to sometimes. It's it happens. I think it's like to remind you, oh yeah, he used to have a wife and she was pregnant. So
no, he's just insane, bro. He's fucking crazy.
yes, so criminal Joker kind of like roughs him up a little bit. It's like, you fool, like this one of us is dead. We need to like pick up the pace here. We need to do our plan. What's the plan? We're gonna find out.
You're lagging, Nick. You're lagging, Preston.
Oh, I'm.
You're
How about?
Go on.
Okay.
Go ahead. You were getting choppy for a second.
Okay.
Too enthusiastic.
Too much intensity for the camera. This is why you need something stronger than a Mac.
Oh, don't insult. That's being cut. So, we go next to a judge's house where he's eaten by his own dogs that were Jokified. Batman subdues the dogs, and turns
They
out
weren't even hyenas.
no, they were no. It was the judge's own guard dogs. Like his guard dogs killed him. Batman subdues him, and it turns out this was a corrupt judge, and he's one of the reasons why Arkham Asylum has a revolving door, and he retired years ago, and I don't know why Joker decided to kill this guy. Sorry.
He was the reason why the bars on Arkham Asylum's jail cells were just paper mache.
Rubber bars.
Yes, sorry.
He killed the judge that essentially made the Arkham Asylum a revolving door center.
Yes, and Batman
How so?
Like he was always he would send criminals to the asylum when they should have gone to jail, and he purposely
he was sending them to mental institute instead of Blackgate.
Yes.
Oh,
that's how he was a corrupt judge.
That's not revolving door though. That's fucking.
But everyone can escape.
Revolving door is when you have a patient that's constantly like returning and going in and out and in and out. That's called a revolving door. It's because you're not doing things effectively. You just want them to constantly be able to come back. So
yes, but he sent criminals to the asylum knowing security was kind of loose, which kind of like led to Arkham is a revolving door because he was sending criminals there instead of to an actual prison.
Oh, because then they would be. I see.
Yes.
I see now.
So, Batgirl tells Batman, hey, Jason killed one of the Jokers. And, Batman's like, oh, I'll go talk to him. But no, all the cops of the city are looking for Red Hood for being a murderer. And Batgirl wants to bring him in. Batman's against it because, if you bring him in, he's going to have to unmask. And if you bring him in, you're going to have to unmask because you're the only witness, and my whole tower of cards will come crumbling down. I say we just, let's just forgive Jason. I'm his bat dad, basically.
Okay.
Yes. Batgirl's...
Why?
What?
Well, I'm just saying because, Batman doesn't kill, but if Batman's buddy kills, it's okay.
Well, no, he's my son.
Well, I mean, he does have Alfred, and Alfred
subscribes to no such niceties.
Yeah, he's
So, but
that's where we pull up the Alfred right here.
There you
I
go.
subscribe to no such niceties.
But yes, no, but Jason's his son. He's his failure. It's kind of like, he's covering for his kid. I mean, he's his...
It's true. He's his failure,
His
son.
He died while under his watch. So it's kind of like, okay, look, I can cut him some slack. He died and then got better. So, let him have one or two.
Yeah, look, he gets one. To be fair, he killed the dude that killed him.
Maybe.
Allegedly. Allegedly. Something tells me that the Jokers just have knowledge of everyone's crimes all the time. So
they talk to each other.
Who's exactly who.
Yeah, they talk to each other. How do you know, he didn't, hey, here's what happened when I killed the Red Hood, so you can, use that against him. Anyway, Batman investigates the judge's house, and he finds fingerprints that don't belong there, and they're fingerprints to Joe Chill, aka the man who murdered the Waynes. So, Batman goes over to Blackgate Prison to investigate, to basically talk to Joe Chill. And it's a moment I really like because he goes to the prison cell and he remembers Joe Chill when he killed his parents. and it's just great lettering because Batman just goes, "You know who I, you know who I am," but he's like he has a little boy voice when he says that because this is the man who killed his parents. So I really like that little moment.
There's like a little touch of like almost vulnerability to the situation.
Yes, this is the man who killed his parents. So he's like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree with you.
You kind of forget yourself in those moments. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I love that.
So he says we need to talk now. There's nobody in the jail cell. So he just kicks it down, and then an orderly comes by like, he's in the hospital. Like he's in the prison hospital. Joe Chill has cancer. He's gonna die soon. Meanwhile, Red Hood investigates some Joker goons, and they have pool chemicals on their face. So he goes to an abandoned community pool center. Because if you live in Gotham, there's going to be abandoned everything. Yes. There he finds a pool full of chemicals and people. Like it's a full pool of people who have all been Jokerized, but they're all dead because the chemicals didn't take or whatever. Anyway, the two Jokers subdue Jason and tie him up. So always going with backup, kids.
What a fool. You think he would have learned by now?
No, it gets better. He's stripped naked, tied to a chair, and one of the Jokers has a crowbar, and they do the whole thing over again. They don't beat him to death, but they do hit him a little bit. Anyway, they explain what their
just a touch.
Just the Joker, and I'm going to hit you a little bit.
I'm the Joker, baby.
The Joker, baby.
God, that's just not the Joker way, baby.
Anyway, that's
the dandy way.
They kind of explain the big plan. They want to make a new Joker who can really get at Batman. No. They wanted it to be Jason Todd because it'd be perfect. You were his sidekick, then now you'll be his Joker. But to be honest, I think you're too stupid and a little too angry. Come on, we just ambushed you, so you're not going to be the new Joker. But we have someone better in mind. And so they...
Oh my God.
What?
You know who it is?
It's Tim Drake.
No.
Enter Tim Drake.
Sure.
You'll see.
Enter Superman.
No.
It's Kal-El.
No, you're gonna...
Superman Joker.
You're gonna love who the new Joker's gonna be. Anyway, back at Blackgate, Batman's investigating Joe Chill, but again, the man has stage 4 cancer. He's in a hospital bed. He's not going anywhere. He investigates his cell, and the man has a bunch of letters all written to Bruce Wayne. And the priest kind of comes by and is like, "Hey, what's with these letters?" "Oh yeah, Joe's been writing them. He wants to apologize to the little boy, but he doesn't know how to." And Batman's like, oh, okay, so he's got cancer. Now he's looking for forgiveness? Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't think so. And the priest's like, actually, no. He's been writing these for years. But how do you apologize to someone whose life you ruined like that? How do you do that, Batman? Batman, how does someone do that? Got any ideas, Batman?
Damn.
Drew, you...
Shit.
Yeah.
You're gonna hang up the cowl?
This tea is mighty hot.
Do you think maybe
this is such a drama-filled arc. I love it.
It's so sad that Batman doesn't go, do you think maybe he should have mailed out some of those letters? Maybe it would have stopped Bruce Wayne from making some big decisions in life?
I don't know. Maybe making an attempt. Send one of them at least.
Yeah, maybe Bruce would have done some drastic things with his life if he got maybe one of these letters, even the bad one.
Maybe Bruce wouldn't have had to just sacrifice so much of his adult life.
Maybe he wouldn't have considered, taking up a cowl and being afraid of bats.
Batman, why are you so concerned about Bruce Wayne's life?
Why are you so concerned about my concern? He's a citizen of Gotham. Fuck off.
Oh, okay.
He's the one who provides me all my tech.
That's too much info.
Batman just be like, fuck off.
Why are you so concerned?
Dark Knight was PG-13. They were allotted one fuck. And they didn't use it.
Well, this is Black Label. They can swear and do whatever they want. Anyway, Batman and
Ooh.
Batgirl investigate the pool where they find Red Hood naked, and his red hood now has like Joker graffiti all over it. So Barbara Gordon takes him to her place to kind of like heal, and he sees like a bunch of books and medicine she took, when she was paralyzed, like, loving yourself, getting better, physical therapy. So Barbara and Red Hood have kind of like a moment together, and then they kind of kiss. And the internet kind of freaked out for a little bit, like, no, Batgirl's not supposed to be with Red Hood. And she's like, that was a mistake. We were just both so vulnerable. And Red Hood's like, well, I know, it made me feel better. Anyway, they get a call.
Made me feel better, God.
They get a phone call from Batman. And this is where we find Joe Chill has been kidnapped. He's no longer in his hospital bed. And we find out he's been kidnapped by the Jokers. And then comedian Joker gets the Killing Joke camera or a video camera and tells him, okay, Joe Chill, I want you to tell us, why did you really kill Thomas and Martha Wayne?
What?
And that's
Because it's for money?
we see, no, don't worry, it's pretty stupid.
Oh.
So they go back to the Batcave and they look at all the victims from the pool. They're trying to figure out like where could they be, and
that's where it cuts.
Yeah,
it like jump cuts from there.
Yeah, jumps cut. This is the final
Damn it.
issue. Yes, it jumps at the Batcave. They're trying to figure out where Joe Chill could be. Where did the Jokers take him? Why did they take him? In fact, we also get this little scene. It's important. Batman looks at a globe, specifically at Alaska, and he keeps looking at it for some reason. But we'll ignore that for now. But it'll come back. Trust me. So Red Hood and Batman have this big fight about like, what are we gonna do? I think we need to go kill him. No, we're above that. We've heard this fight before, done tons of times. Barbara does ask, "Do you know who the Joker really is? Because it's really strange that this guy we don't know has caused us so much pain." And Batman's like, "I've been finding the Joker for years. If I knew who he was, I would have told you guys from the get-go." Anyway, Batman goes back to the asylum, Blackgate. He investigates Joe Chill's room, and he finds a letter in the stack of letters addressed to Bruce Wayne, one that says, to Batman. And it's tickets to the Monarch Theater, where his parents were killed. And Batman's like, oh, shoot. I know where they are. They're at the Monarch Theater. So, Batman, Batgirl, and Red Hood go to the Monarch Theater. Batman goes to the front door, Batgirl goes to the Red Hood goes to the roof. Inside is a vat of chemicals with Joe Chill hanging above them, and they are going to turn him into the new Joker.
They're gonna take a stage 4 cancer patient, dip him in fucking acid, hope it doesn't kill him, and then new Joker. He's gonna die on the spot.
No, because Criminal Joker says the chemicals will exchange physical health for mental health. So it'll basically
found the cure for cancer.
Yeah, your cancer's gone, but now you're
insanity.
Yes. No, Nick.
No, excuse me.
Yes.
What kind of chemicals are these? What were these for? What were these for? This was just acid, right?
No, it's
No, these are ace chemicals.
Yeah, they're the chemicals.
What were they going to use these chemicals for?
To make him a Joker.
Ace Chemicals was literally just a power plant that produced chemicals of various things. It never explains what vat he jumped into. It was just an experimental vat that he was in.
So
it was a vat of acid.
Yeah.
So this vat of literal acid has the power to cure cancer in exchange for your mental health.
Yes, you'll become a Joker, but your cancer's gone.
Really?
How?
This was really, really good. And then just went right there.
Yeah.
But
like a Joker, it went from really good to like a Joker into that of acid.
Yes. Look.
Okay.
So Criminal Joker
I was gonna say this is starting to sound like Deadpool, but at least Deadpool had like an injection and it made him
constantly combat cancer. It didn't exchange the cancer. He still has cancer. He's constantly dying all the time.
Moved all the tumors into his brain, so now he's crazy.
he just has fucking blood clots popped up in his brain.
So Criminal Joker explains his master plan of, like, this is the guy who made you Batman. He will be the best Joker of us all because no one has caused you as much pain. They have a big fight. Criminal Joker loosens the thing to drop Joe Chill into the vat of chemicals. Batman comes in and grabs him and saves the day. Saves Joe Chill, basically. They do throw some... there's a big explosion, and there's all this fight between, like, Batgirl versus some Joker goons, and also Comedian Joker. Red Hood's helping her out, while Batman deals with Criminal Joker. Criminal Joker uses dynamite to blow up the place, but Batman saves Joe Chill again, and there's this neat little moment where Joe Chill goes like, "You! I know who you are! I heard all about you in, like, Blackgate." Because, like, oh, right, he's never actually met Batman before. He's been in prison this entire time. A loose wall from the explosion falls on Joe Chill, but again, Batman saves his life. And then, yes, Criminal Joker, comes out, he's beaten, he's bloodied, he's laughing, he says, "God, it hurts to laugh." And then Comedian Joker kills Criminal Joker so he can be the last Joker standing. So boom, all two Jokers are dead. We've got one Joker left, and it's the Joker we all know and like. Yes. Anyway, Batman escorts the last Joker to the asylum. He reveals, like, "I know you're Bruce Wayne. I know she's Barbara Gordon. I've known all along." And this is where we get, like, the pull of the rug, where it turns out he never wanted Joe Chill to be the Joker. That was all the criminal's idea. I regret making him. Or does he regret making me? So, because we gotta put out who's the first Joker. We'll never know. He's a mystery. Comedian Joker likes the idea of Joker being this abstract idea that you never know who he is. So making Joe Chill the Joker, he didn't like that. So his plan was to kill the other two Jokers, and he'll be the last one standing. But there was one other twist to it. He purposely orchestrated all of this so Batman would forgive Joe Chill, so only the Joker would be the greatest pain in his life.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You see? So now...
Sure, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that is definitely the plan of an insane man.
That is par for the course for Joker.
See, that sounds like everything went to shit, and then he said, "I planned this all along, Batman."
Honestly, okay, Batman, cards on the table. This went way off the rails, so I'm gonna say I did all this.
I kind of really like the idea that he actually did this because, like, this man helped Bruce Wayne go over a serious trauma just so that he could be Batman's sole pain.
Yes.
Like, Joker is so egotistically, like, I am your greatest nemesis, that he has gone to this length to make sure that he's been therapeutically healed.
Are you sure he's his greatest nemesis and not Lord Deathman?
Leave Lord Deathman. He's a Robin nemesis at this point.
Good, okay.
So,
the greatest nemesis.
So the chapter ends basically with Joker laughing. We cut to Bruce Wayne on Joe Chill's deathbed. He's there like, "I forgive you." Joe Chill dies, and Batman even buys him like a nice little tombstone, in the cemetery.
He reminds Joe Chill he killed my parents.
We then cut to Alaska, where Bruce Wayne is driving through the Alaska wilderness. Why is that? We'll come to that in a second. Jason Todd writes Barbara a Dear John letter, basically saying, like, "Barbara, I love you. We've both been through trauma together, but I understand if you don't feel the same way. So basically, if you don't like me, that's fine. Don't say anything. I'll never bring it up again. But if you do like me, I'll give up being Red Hood, and you can give up being Batgirl, and we can be like super best friends forever who have sex and all that."
Honestly, that is the most mature thing Jason Todd will ever do.
Well, here's the thing. He tapes that letter to the door and then leaves, and then the tape falls off, and a janitor sweeps it up. And again, in the letter, he said, like, if you don't feel that way for me, don't say anything. In fact, I won't even mention the letter to you. He specifically writes that. So now I'll always be like, oh, I guess she doesn't like me, because why not?
But we never know.
Yes. So
It's left in the air.
well, now here comes this part that I'm sure everyone's
Damn.
gonna love.
Oh boy.
Batman and Alfred are like closing up the case, and Alfred's like, man, it's so weird how this man causes us so much pain. We don't even know his name. And Bruce goes, look, I don't want to sound like those guys on the internet, but Alfred, I'm Batman. I learned his name the first week after I first met him. I know the Joker's true name. And Alfred's like, really? How come you never told anybody? And this is going to be great, I feel, for Alan Moore fans. Joker's wife is alive. She faked her death with the police, entered the witness protection program because Joker was an abusive husband. She now lives in Alaska with the kid. And Batman says, I can't tell anyone Joker's real name because then maybe someone will find out that they're alive and he'll come after them, or someone else will. And that's why Bruce Wayne goes to Alaska, just to check on them, to make sure they're okay.
So he's following witness protection program by not saying his name.
Well, no, he can't, like, what if he told Jason Todd and Jason Todd slipped, oh, I know your real name, and, like, or what if Jason Todd went to Alaska to go find out the family? The point is, we can never know the Joker's true name. What if his family's watching TV and they realize, oh, shoot, that's my last name, that's my mom's name, that's my dad, basically. So
Holy shit.
Yes.
At least there's a reason. It's reasonable. It's reasonable, right? Not like you can never know his name because on his birth certificate they forgot to write it. You know.
That's why the Death Note doesn't work on him.
That's why the Death Note doesn't work on him. He doesn't have a name.
And that was
God.
And that was 3 Jokers. I hope the answer was satisfactory, Drew, to who were the 3 Jokers.
No.
No?
Yeah, it feels worse now, knowing that I can't know. You know? Like, it doesn't explain at all, like, why there were 3 Jokers at once.
Yes, again, no one...
You know what else it doesn't explain?
What?
Why the fuck Batman asked for shits and gigs who the identity of the Joker was.
And there we go.
If he already knew. He said he already knew. So why did he ask?
There we go.
Wait, when did he ask?
The Mobius chair.
Oh.
Remember, the thing he asked the chair, who killed my parents?
He fucking knew, like, the first week, like, into his career. Why did he ask the Morbius chair?
The Mobius
Yeah,
so
that is a big plot hole.
And I want to point out, it's written by the same guy, and I don't know why he did that. And that's why I think
wasn't thinking that far.
Maybe, I mean, like, for goodness sakes, that's why I think this thing isn't in continuity, because he never mentions the Mobius chair. He doesn't mention, like, oh yeah, I've known this guy since the first week in any of the Justice League stories. It makes, I don't think it's in continuity. Also,
yeah.
Commissioner Gordon knows Batgirl is his daughter, and if you were reading Batgirl at the time, he definitely does not know, because he swears a vengeance against Batgirl when it looks like Batgirl killed his son. Whole other thing. But the point is, this story is so not in continuity. And the worst part is, this must be 3 Jokers in the main continuity, because he asked the Mobius chair, and we're just never going to get around to that, I guess.
Does the Morbius chair, like, ever come up again? Like,
No.
Is it easy to access?
Well, no, it's New God technology.
Yeah, it's essentially like you have to get to, like, the dimension between dimensions.
Yes. So
think of, like, if you watched the whole, like, I don't know what parts of Marvel you watch, but that little bit with Kang where he's in his like own little domain outside of the dimensions where he can just kind of walk past and just kind of peek in.
But again,
Okay.
even if they don't have the Mobius chair, I'm surprised he never mentioned, oh, did you guys know I was once a god of knowledge and it told me there were 3 Jokers? That's how I know there are 3 Jokers.
Yeah, like since then he hasn't brought up the fact that for a brief moment he had eternal knowledge.
Never brings it up.
Like did he just forget all that knowledge too?
I guess how can he forget anything if he still remembers, like, oh yeah, I know the Joker's real name. I remember from like the first time we fought.
And he still decides to just go back and just be Batman.
Yeah. Oh,
he has eternal knowledge now. And now
that was a whole different story. We'll get to that some other time. But the point is, this thing doesn't answer who the 3 Jokers are, and also to some people kind of ruins the ending of Killing Joke by having his wife and kid be alive. Because we can't leave.
I feel like there's literally Killing Joke is completely ruined because his wife and kid are still alive. Jason Todd is still alive, and Barbara can walk again. So there's no consequence at all from that in the end, you know.
I oh my god, I didn't even realize, like, that's right. Barbara Gordon was from the Killing Joke. So like, yeah, so Joker's numbers are put some asterisk points next to Joker's name, like kill Jason Todd, kind of. Lost his wife and kid, kind of.
Yeah. Paralyzed Barbara Gordon, kind of.
Kind of. She got better.
Definitely still did the things to her, though.
Yeah, he did do that.
Yes, he did still take the pictures, which again, he has that camera around. He still waves that camera around in this whole storyline.
Yeah, I'm sure he has a new film in there.
Yeah.
He developed it specifically to show to Jim Gordon.
Tristan, how do you feel after waiting 5 years or 4 years or however many years for that answer?
Well, first off, I'm still trying to figure out why 3 Jokers? Whoever said, like, I bet, like, the Joker is actually different people who are, like, tag teaming in. Like, look, obviously Jeff Johns likes this idea. Good on him, I guess. I just don't see the point, you know?
I think, it was really poorly executed. Like, he made it and then was like, I don't have an answer. Let's just kill them.
I personally, I feel like it dilutes.
From what I've heard of Jeff Johns' other stuff, namely Doomsday Clock, it's really fucking, like, he's got some good writing, but other things are like, no. I've heard Doomsday Clock is just stupid. Like,
oh, it's so stupid. But like Jeff Johns, he loves the DC universe. He loves Legacy. He did stuff like Justice Society of America, Stargirl, which he created, Justice League, all Green Lantern, Flash. Like he loves that kind of stuff, and they're great works. But yeah, like this, I really didn't see the point. I feel like it kind of dilutes Joker a little bit by having like, oh, sometimes it's one guy, sometimes it's a different guy.
Yeah. Well, I
it's
feel
all one guy.
Continuity now, you know.
Yeah, like, and also it wants to ask that question, like, who's the true Joker? Like, which Joker made who? Like, that's a question they propose, and they'll always say, like, oh, I regret making you. Oh, wait, I thought I made you. Like, they keep it purposely vague about who the first Joker is.
It's like that clone guy in Invincible.
Hey, don't say clones. Don't say clones. Preston's in the room.
See, at least they're not.
I'm sorry.
At least they're not clones, so that's fine.
Imagine that would have been so funny because I know you would have been like clones, clones.
I knew it was the clones all along.
This is kind of a tangent, but in the Joker comic book series that's going on, I think it just ended. Jim Gordon finds basically the family from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they have like a whole cloning chamber where they like clone supervillains. But the one villain they can't clone is Joker, because every time they try to clone the Joker, it becomes like a Cronenberg nightmare.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Like the actual family from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or like them?
Like it's a family from the South who eats people.
Okay.
But also has cloning tech.
Yes.
Yeah, wait,
why do they clone supervillains?
Well, they find oil and they become rich, so they kind of like use that money for cloning, so they can like clone people, so they can like eat people. And
so they want to eat supervillains.
no, they then decide to expand their business by like, oh, wasn't Bane dead? Why is Bane back? Oh, we just cloned it. Like, it's to explain why sometimes a supervillain might die, but then they're back.
Oh, so they just built in an explanation?
Yes.
It's terrible.
That's a dumb explanation.
It's literally an ex machina.
Yeah,
It's
well,
literally an ex machina.
Mad.
It's to explain things like, wait,
Joker's one makes me mad.
it's to explain like, wait, wasn't Copperhead killed in Forever Evil? But here he is in Wonder Woman. Like, oh, well, okay, just assume it's a clone. Assume he's a clone. That's all it's there for.
Fucking okay, Jackal from the Marvel universe.
Just assume it's a clone. But that was 3 Jokers. Any thoughts on that?
Terrible.
Terrible?
What?
It was fun. It was fun and really silly. But like, as far as it just.
Yeah, I think I liked the ride more than the destination, you know?
Yeah. And then as soon as it got to fucking the Ace chemicals can cure your cancer, but also make you insane. Like, it's what the fuck?
Wall right there, story-wise.
I mean, I'm glad you point out the cancer thing, Nick, but I also think you're forgetting, like, let's just say Joe Chill was, like, 30 years old when he killed the Waynes. He's like, you're talking about, like, a 60-year-old Joker, an 80-year-old Joker?
Yeah, they're like Jason Todd, bad option. Old guy with stage 4 cancer, great option.
But no, he's the man who caused the greatest pain in Bruce Wayne's life. It worked in Batman 89, didn't it?
For Joe Chill's Joker?
Yes.
So that Joker...
Joker's not Joe Chill in that movie. It's Jack Nicholson.
Yes. Learn your actors, Chris.
I get it, though.
But I think,
I don't know.
Chris, I think you're right, because the art in this book is spectacular. Jeff Johns always works with amazing artists. Like, just any of these pictures alone is great, but you're right, like, where it all leads to is like, why? Just do a Batman story. Why'd you have to do all this whole complicated Joker stuff?
Yeah, it could have been really good, too, if it's like, if the chair says there's 3 Jokers, but you never see all 3 Jokers together. So then the reader would be like, were there 3 Jokers, or is it one Joker that's like playing 3 Jokers?
That's a Grant Morrison. That's a
really
Grant.
weird.
That's a Grant Morrison. It's either Grant Morrison or Neil Gaiman. I think it's Morrison. They came up with like this idea of like, oh, the Joker has super sanity, and they become what they need to in the moment. So maybe they're Cesar Romero, maybe they're Heath Ledger. Like, the Joker's different personalities is like a different personality. So it's kind of similar to that, Chris. And you're right. I like that.
Did you say super sanity?
Yes. Like, the Joker knowingly picks what he's going to be like that day, whatever will best suit him. Like, oh, I need to be like a serial killer today. No, I need to be like a crazy clown man.
I can't get over super sanity. It's not super insanity, right?
No, super sanity.
Super sanity.
He's so sane. He knows.
He's so sane that he's insane.
Yes, he's so sane. He chooses to be
so
crazy.
Sane, he's able to steer while riding shotgun.
Yes. There you go. There you go.
What?
He's in the passenger seat, but he's driving.
He's in the passenger seat, constantly changing the driver.
Oh, I get it.
Yes.
I get it now.
The only
That's what super sanity is: the ability to change the driver from the passenger seat.
the only thing to make
you know
this.
how you're just kind of watching yourself do things? Well, so is he,
Sometimes,
except he can just look over and go, all right, we need something different here. Let's go, scatter.
The only thing that makes it better is the fact that Jeff Johns has announced there will be a sequel to this. So we will get I don't know if it's a sequel series or an epilogue comic, but we will get a 3 Jokers too.
We'll get a 3 Jokers. Now there's only one.
3 Jokers.
Two more Jokers.
3 Jokers Three Jokers 2, there can be only one.
But there is only one. Yes. I don't know who said we needed more Jokers besides Jeff Johns.
Yeah.
Three Jokers 2, it comes down to one.
Three Jokers 2, Electric Joker Lou.
3 Jokers 2, 3's a crowd, 2's a joke.
That's a good one.
If that's the title, we're shutting this down. Like I'm done. If that's
y'all have to stop making these predictions.
Well,
if Dark Hawk is in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, we gotta start making more like good predictions.
Yeah, we should just
can y'all start making some predictions in favor of like the comic fans then? Like
so I predict that DC will actually gain sanity and start writing stuff that isn't Batman, Bat Family, and Batman's Rogues Gallery. I predict.
Nick wants DC to have super sanity.
You've predicted that they've made Black Adam.
I meant the comics.
I predict
you know how many comics fucking Green Lantern's getting? 0, because fucking Batman, Nightwing, Catwoman, Joker, fucking, I don't know, maybe Clayface is getting his own comic. You know what, let's bring in, like, whoa, we ran out of the Rogues Gallery? Egghead's getting his own comic now. We have to keep it in the Bat family.
Give us a gaggy comic.
You know what? That's what we're ending on. We're ending on, because I'm going to say this. Guess what's coming out next week, Nick? They're doing a new series called Batman One Bad Day, where each issue will focus on a different Batman villain. So we got Riddler, Clayface. Thank you for predicting that, Nick. I hope there's going to be a Batman One Bad Day gaggy.
DC needs to get their act together, or I swear to God, it will burn down their building.
No, you can't say stuff like that anymore.
I'll cut that out.
I definitely can.
That's the prediction from Longbox Legends. Batman One Bad Day gaggy. Written by Jeff Johns with art by Alex Ross. Why not? Thank you for joining us on Longbox Legends. I'm Preston.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Drew again.
Thank you, and we hope to catch you next time with me and my 3 Jokers.
Fuck you.